with a huge round of applause. Toastmaster Melody.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Rohit, for the kind introduction. Yes, I am a dentist working in a private clinic now, and it is my instinct
Recording in progress.
To look at people's teeth instead of the eyes first. So be careful when you smile to me. Now, I would like to share screen. Okay. So can you see me and can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Okay, so before I start, I would like to say greet all Toastmasters here again from Pekanbaru Toastmasters Club and also Rungta Toastmasters Club. And also, I want to wish Happy Independence Day for both friends from both countries. And I hope that you all will celebrate this day with pride and unity together with your friends and family. Now, let's start. Speak sensitively. Can I actually look at you all at the chat box? I want to know if you all know what does it mean, speaking insensitively. What is insensitive? Is there an example or any experience that you had before? Can I have some replies from you all? It could be something nasty, right? Or sarcastic, intimidating. Yeah, making assumptions, harsh words, yes, hurting someone. So these are the things that we don't want to accept. We don't like to hear. And that's why we, as a role model for people, we don't want to do the same. Okay, and I also want to let you know that actually why we are going to do this. Because we want to have harmonious relationships with our family, with our friends, and last but not least, at our workplace. We spend almost 1/4 of our day, our everyday lives at the workplace, or not. If you're in a university, then maybe you will be with your uni friends. But I want to let you know this one important thing is, according to statistics, that people nowadays are more polarized, more divided than we ever have been in history. So which means that we are less likely to compromise, and which means we're not listening to each other, all right? And then there is another example. It's a very recent study by McKinsey and Company, published in June 2021, that according to a study of 18,000 people in 15 countries, that the future citizens should acquire a set of 56 foundational skills that will benefit all citizens and show that higher proficiency in them is already associated with a higher likelihood of employment, higher incomes, and job satisfaction. So this set of 56 foundational skills actually falls into 4 big categories. And they are cognitive, interpersonal, self-leadership, and digital. And you can see in this interpersonal box, 14 out of 56 foundational skills falls under this interpersonal communication. So we know that in this era, with everything's digital, everything is technology. So other than learning the digital and self-leadership and cognitive skills, we have to brush up our interpersonal skills. And that's what we're going to do today. And before I want to talk about speaking sensitively, I would like to share about how to listen, as shared by the host just now. Because since we're babies, we actually learn to listen first, then we know how to speak. Okay, the first one, there are 5 levels of listening, and the first one is simply not listening. You are just blasting out everything in your mind. You want to be at the center of the stage, but you just don't want to listen to all comments, feedbacks, and opinions. So you just want to take control of the room. That's the first level. The second is pretend to listen. Yeah, I nod. I smile, I give eye contact. Yes, initially we can fool the speaker, but eventually the people would know, right? And this, I'm sure this is not the impression you want to give to others. And the third level is listen selectively. Yes, there is like a button in your mind that whenever you hear something interests you, what amazes you, then you will give some reply. Oh, yes, okay, I understand you. But otherwise, your mind is wandering. Your mind was thinking, oh, I just saw a dress just now online. Should I buy it? Or I have an assignment tomorrow to submit. Can I complete it by tonight? Right? So your mind is not focused at all. Now, come to the fourth level. So listening attentively. This is quite good already because we put 100% of our energy to listen what the speaker wants to say. However, we are still in our head. We make criticism, we make judgment inside our head, and we can't wait to reply. We can't wait to give our thoughts as well. So as Stephen Covey just mentioned here, most people do not listen with intent to understand, but they listen with the intent to reply. Now, what is the highest level of listening? It is to listen with empathy. And what is this? Instead of staying in your own head, you go into the other people's head and in their heart. You take no position at all. You don't side anyone, and you keep aside your opinion. You just listen and make the person feel understood, make the person's feelings be acknowledged. And this is where we should achieve. And when we come to this person who we cannot really understand what this person is talking about, then we can actually ask questions, all right? But before going to that, I want to share a quote from Bill Nye. Everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't. So whenever you're in a conversation, just be a learner and be prepared to be amazed by the person that you're listening to. Now, after all these 5 levels of listening, and now we come to asking questions. What if we don't understand what people is talking about? Of course, we want to ask questions, but how to ask the questions? There are techniques. We have to take a cue from the journalist. The journalist always asks, who, when, where, why, what, how. Instead of asking a close-ended questions like, are you scared? Yes, I'm scared. Are you hungry? Yes, I'm hungry. So the person would just take the most influential word in the sentence and pick a yes or no. But when you ask, hi, Toastmaster Rohit, how was the meeting? Hey, Dajon, so what do you feel? And from here, we can actually have the person to process the feelings and thoughts and give a proper response. And this is what we want to know and understand people. Okay, so now we know how to listen and how to ask questions. We are going to dive into this speaking sensitively. I'll give you maybe 3 seconds to decide if this is speaking sensitive or not. Okay, now I think it's time to move into the main agenda of this presentation. To speak is where we have to let our mind, our thoughts come to our mouth. And we have to use our tongue to speak something. It can be hurtful, it can be powerful, and it all judged by your mind. So think before you speak. And I would like to introduce this acronym, THINK, think, before you speak. Now let me introduce the first one. T, is it true? So whatever you're telling someone, you have to make sure that it is a truth. Is it your honest opinion? And is it just an opinion or a fact? For example, I think you still cannot go to the shopping mall. You still can go, according to SOP, I think you cannot still go to the shopping mall even if you're fully vaccinated. Or the news said you still cannot go to the shopping mall even though you're fully vaccinated. So these are the two different statements, correct? And another example I would like to share with everyone is that recently there is a fake news going around in Malaysia that the dental patient actually passed away from getting a dental treatment under anesthesia because this patient actually just got the vaccinations 2 days ago. So which means it's actually a contraindication to give anesthesia after being vaccinated. To me, it's very obviously that it's illogical and it's not making sense. But the public, they wouldn't know. They don't have any health knowledge. So with someone who making this spreading this fake news and rumors, I feel that it is really a wrongdoing. And it actually caused, maybe it's a minor thing to you, but it caused a huge damage and harm to the public. Okay, we can ponder about this. Is it true? Second, H, is it helpful? Whatever you're going to say, is it going to help the other person? Is it going to assist the other person to make a decision? Right? So the example here is, how to not feel so sad? Just be happy. Oh, okay, that's very helpful. You just be happy, 3 single words. How are you going to help the other person? Instead of providing solutions, instead of giving some words of comfort, you just say these 3 words, which is not very helpful. Although in this meme, it is actually just a joke, but surely we don't want to apply it to those people who are seriously in depression. Next one, is it inspiring? We are in Toastmasters here to share our inspiring stories. We want to get people motivated and get the message across so that people will continue to be a better person and better version of themselves. The perfect example that I want to get from is Martin Luther King Jr. We never remember, we cannot memorize his speech from the beginning to the end about his speech, I Have a Dream. But we know that it is to inspire all people to start working on racial equality. So this is what we are going to do in the Toastmasters and, of course, in our daily lives. Fourth one, is it necessary? Is it necessary to tell this person? Is it necessary for this person to know about this fact or maybe this gossip? So I know that probably among women, gossiping is like something that we are used to do. But I would like to invite everyone to ponder again, is this something necessary? Is this helpful? And what if someday you're going to be the gossip of everyone? Do you like that? So we just put ourselves in somebody's shoes. Then after this, you will realize that you won't even want to gossip. And the last thing is K, is it kind? For the best example that I can get is the ex-president of the United States, President Donald Trump, that yes, he's an accrued businessman. But, we don't find any value of kindness in his speeches. That's why people don't like him. So it's deep down that we want to hear inspiring words and kind words because we feel good after listening to them. So this is something we have to bear in mind as well. Before we speak, we have to think, is it kind to that person? So very simple, THINK. Before you speak, we have to decide if it's true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. With these 5 acronyms in your mind, I'm sure that you will start practice to talk more sensitively. If you cannot remember everything that I just said just now, just remember these 3 main points. We have to listen with empathy. We ask the right questions with open-ended questions. And also we think before we speak. Of course, I'm not perfect. And we can only keep work on it. Like what John Paul says, communication works for those who work at it. Even though we're not good at it now, eventually we will get there. Thank you for your attention. And I think that's all from me. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, and welcome any questions from you all.
Recording stopped.
I must say this was a wonderful session by Toastmaster Melody. And you know what? I have written some points regarding what Toastmaster, maybe it's not visible, but I have written this. Some points like, I really appreciated the word that you said at the right. Is it kind? Because sometimes I completely agree with the point. Sometimes we think, okay, I am saying this. All right, this is going to be okay. This is going to be this. But we don't put ourselves in the other shoes, right? We only think about ourselves. We don't think what is going to happen. It will impact to themselves. So we need to be kind also what we are saying. Is it kind for them or not? So this is something I really, really liked. And as the Toastmaster Melody said, be empathy, speak with empathy, listen with empathy, sounds very important. Asking the right questions and thinking clearly. Thank you, Toastmaster Melody, for this wonderful session that you have organized today.
It's my pleasure.
And it's time. Yeah, definitely. And we would love to be listening from you again and again and again and again. Like if we Toastmaster Nina and Toastmaster Sayed and all the VPPRs, I request, please conduct another session on the next month so that we can come to listen Toastmaster Melody again and again. This was a wonderful session. I'd like to ask from the audience, from all the Toastmasters who would like to ask any questions from Toastmaster Melody. Please raise a hand. And I can see Toastmaster Sayed has raised a hand. All right, Toastmaster Sayed, go ahead. You have so many questions, right?
Even before the presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so actually, this is a little bit personal question for myself.
Recording in progress.
So the question goes like this. As we have described the acronym for think, THINK, sorry. But I'm a little bit confused. What is necessary? How do we decide what is necessary? Is it in our perspective, is this necessary for me, or is this necessary for the other person to know this fact that I'm trying to say?
Thank you. Thank you. That is a very good question. And you really pointed out something that I didn't clarify enough in the presentation. In my opinion, it is actually the other person. If the other person is necessary to know this. For example, you actually heard a gossip that this person's husband is having an affair, but it's just a gossip. Would you want to tell this person? Would you want to tell the wife? You don't have evidence, you don't have facts, and it's just rumors. Of course, you don't want to make the person worry first, right? So yes, I think it is for the other person. Should they listen? Should they know about this thing or not? Is that clear, Toastmaster Syed?
That's clear. Thank you for answering the question.
Recording
Okay, so
stopped.
Toastmaster Syed, do you have any questions I'm asking again?
I see Munish is raising.
All right, so
Yeah,
Toastmaster Munish, yeah, go ahead, Toastmaster Munish.
So first I want to say that was a very wonderful speech, and I have not listened to such a great speech for such a long time. So
oh, I cannot hear you, Munish. You are muted. Could you please repeat?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So you said that we should ask open-ended questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it happened with me many times that when I ask open-ended questions, some people don't reply. They take it that they are not secure, or maybe they don't reply in a good way. So what should we do if somebody don't reply in a good manner to our open-ended questions? Like to build the communication, sometimes we ask open-ended questions, but some person don't keep it open-ended. They say yes or no also to the open-ended questions also.
Thank you, Munish. I think it takes practice to answer those questions as well, especially for Asians, because since young we just have this education that you do this or you do not. You're never asked that do you want to do this, or are you comfortable to do this? No, just do or not. So I think for this question, it's actually for that person. We of course want to do our best to know that person's exact feelings and emotions and thoughts about this particular conversation that you're having. However, if that person really cannot understand that, we may have to change our approach. We make it accruent, as in we make it a half open or half closed. And if still cannot, then we go to the closed questions. That's my suggestion on this part. As in, for example, like, how are you feeling now? And that obviously the person is sad. Then, okay, so you look sad. So what's the incident? Okay, what made you sad? And if this person is really not answering well, then okay, so did you just have a fight with your wife? Something like that. So I think this is something we can do. Okay, so yeah, that's my reply.
Hello,
yes, Toastmaster Pawan. Yeah.
Toastmaster Pawan, are you there? Yeah.
Hello, Toastmaster. Rohit, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Am I? Thanks for confirming. I have this question that, yeah, everyone should talk sensitively. But in the communication, what happened many times that the person you are communicating with is not talking that sensitively, right? Or they are not listening you with empathy. So, and in that situation, you feel very, it's very disheartening that someone is not understanding you. As what should that person do?
I guess Toastmaster Pawan wants to ask that in some situations you are very sensitively, but sometimes the person from the front is not so sensitive enough, and so you get hurt for that, right? You feel very hurted for that, right, Toastmaster Pawan?
Exactly. This person is so insensitive with your feelings. He's not responding in a right way, and it panics you. But you somehow keep that thing inside, and you just don't react there. So, is there something that we can react with, that we understand, or we should leave it? How we should deal with this situation?
I think that's something like what Toastmaster, the host, just said about you cannot pull the horse to the water. There are times that if we are in we both have a different perspectives and we hold the different values, that it is very difficult to get the message across. So I would say that we have to understand that communication sensitively is a skill to be polished. And that's why we're in Toastmasters, to polish the communication skills. However, if really all approaches that we try fails, then probably we know that this is not the right person you want to talk about your feelings to, right? So the other person may not have the skills that you have to speak sensitively, to listen with empathy, but you can just do it for your own self, and this is not just and it's for the impression for others and also for your own benefit. Plus, who knows, one day, someday, this other person would realize as well from you. Yeah. So we just have to, we just also, sorry, may I just add another few words that probably that person may not have the skill to deliver the message, but probably they have a value in that message. So we just have to listen, as I said, listen with empathy. So probably this person is telling me something just with a different approach that I cannot accept. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone want to ask a question? I think we have one more. Please, Toastmaster Punky, right? Toastmaster Punky, go ahead.
All right, thank you, TM Rahid.
Yeah.
And hello, TM Melody. I really enjoyed your presentation.
Recording
and
in
I have
progress.
this question related to interpersonal skill and also digital life. Nowadays, people use digital life as if it's the most important thing for our life. And apart from that, we also need this interpersonal skill. However, I don't feel that I have these issues on the interpersonal skill, but as a content creator, I sometimes have to be much more sensitive when I upload or posting some sensitive content, because people will react different from what I hope as a content creator. And for that, I sometimes see the way I communicate in real life and in social media are totally different. How will you suggest me to still have real content as the way I am, as genuine me, without faking it? So people won't see me as a different person between in the social media and in the real life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Punky, for this wonderful question. Yeah, sometimes we see like a content creator, probably I actually just saw a news on YouTube that there is in Korea that there was one influencer that she seems very nice, pretty, kind to everyone on screen, but actually in her company that has a very bad review, 1 out of 5, because the ex-employee commented that the boss was too demanding. The boss would just text them in the middle of the night on the weekend just to get things done. Or on the next, like on this same day, they already planned that they have this shooting. But when the boss came in, the influencer came in, she just immediately want to change her mind and everything has to go along her way. So yes, that's why we have to be very careful about this. We want to be the same person as we always be. So I would say of course we need to speak sensitively, as in you have to filter all the words that you're going to post online. For all the sensitive content that you want to share, I would suggest to make a stand, and then you have to be responsible for what you say. For example, like, there are a lot of Taiwanese and Hongkies that they refer China, they refer China as another country, and that makes a lot of political comments. So if you really want to stand your view that, for example, you are Taiwanese, you are not from mainland China, you are not under China, then if you want to say this, you need to be firm. This is what you believe in. The haters are going to hate you, but make sure that you are just still be yourself. And I'm sure there will be people believing in you as well. Yeah, just be true to your values and apply the THINK acronym.
Recording stopped.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, TM Melody.
Hope it helps.
Okay, so that was a wonderful question and answer, Sensor. But Toastmaster Melody, are you there?
Yes.
I have a last question. Can I ask?
Sure.
Okay, so the last question is, are any of the member qualified to visit your clinic?
Of course, anyone. As long as
am I qualified? Am I qualified?
all are qualified. I see from 6 months old to to 70 or 80. Yeah, anyone. Yes.
Okay. So
as long as
this was a wonderful.
here.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd love to come to your clinic whenever it is. Definitely. So it was a wonderful session by Toastmaster Melody about this topic, speaking sensitively. And thank you, Toastmaster Melody, again. We'll love to have you back. But right now, I'd like to call quickly Toastmaster Arif to please share the screen and share the token of appreciation to Toastmaster Melody. Toastmaster Arif, are you there?
Thank you. It is my pleasure to be invited to this international stage together with Indonesian and Indian friends.
Thank you. Thank you again, Toastmaster Melody. And please, everyone, please give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Melody. She did a wonderful job.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melody. So please receive, this is a small appreciation from us that
Thank you.
you have time to spend Sunday afternoon with us and share your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to be here.